Okay, I'm going to work on a small gem point. I made one earlier of that petrified wood that I have. I've got some flakes and that piece of petrified wood from Oregon. So I'm going to try to quickly make one of these. It is translucent. And it does have some streaks in it, like wood grain. Anyway. It's pretty straightforward to make a point, a small point from a flake. It's mostly pressure flaking. And you can find these little flakes in debitage. If you have a friend that does some napping and he has lots of flakes, he can just give you the flakes and you can have some free material. So let's see if I can do this quickly. I made a new tool. I cut the back off of this large EC stick, put another piece of aluminum in there and sharpened it up. I hardly ever use pressure flakers like this nowadays. I did when I first started with these long pressure flaking points. They do come in handy for stuff like this, but yeah, I hardly ever use these anymore. Let's see, I need to thin this down so actually this glove is getting in the way. I was looking at points from Columbia River area, and a lot of them are stemmed points with pretty sharp and some with large barbs. So I think that's what I'll make here, a stemmed point with barbs, long barbs. And this heat-treated petrified wood is just like glass. It feels almost exactly like glass or obsidian. It's pretty much the same procedure even with these very small points. The biggest problem is not breaking these. That's the biggest issue. They break so easily. Yep, there you go. One little hit on the base. Let's see. I might have some issues with this one. Some internal crack issues. I'm not going to explain too much on this one because I'm afraid I'm just going to snap it in half again if I don't pay attention. I'm just trying to make it more even for some more thinning flakes. Then once I have it thin, I'll do the pressure flaking around the outsides. So yeah, I'm just knocking off the delicate areas for some. It'll create some platforms for me when I just brush off the little thin areas. And then I can dry some flakes to make this thinner. Maybe get rid of this steppy area. Almost got it. I'll get that later. See, I'm worried about going too far with these flakes. I gotta hit very, very delicately because it's so small. It's easy to shoot these flakes too far. I was hoping it would go further, hit that, but I can still get it probably with one more strike, carefully placed. So yeah, basically the same technique as with a large piece. It takes about the same amount of time, big or small. Of course, if you get good at these small ones, you can make them pretty fast. On flakes that are already thin. This particular piece was kind of chunky to begin with, relatively speaking. That's just a stubborn area right there. Okay, anyway. I might be able to clean this up later with some strikes after I make it slightly more narrow and clean it up a little bit on the edges. Alright, one more attempt at thinning this down a little bit more and then we'll just finish up. Hopefully I can get it down on this one video. Get this point finished on this video before the 30 minutes is up. Okay. Looks like this is going to stay in there, that little step. I tried one more time to come in from the notch. Still didn't reach. Okay. Little pieces everywhere. And it's just like glass, so I got to be careful. I have to be very careful at the bottom of the notches because it can just snap off this whole barb if I put too much pressure. I'll finish up with, let's see, spatula tool. Yeah, I'll switch over to the pin or the pick. Since it's almost like glass, the tools slip very easily on this. And it's tempting to put a lot of pressure, but if I use a lot of pressure, it'll snap off one of the barbs. The aluminum grabs the edge better than the steel, but I don't want to use aluminum right now because it could just snap everything. It grabs the edge a little bit too much. I could probably sharpen a piece of aluminum this size. Might work, but that's for another video. I'm going to see if I can deepen these notches. Trim the barb a little bit. Let's see, 23 minutes. Okay, I think that's good enough. I don't want to push my luck. All right. See, I got a flashlight. See if I can show the translucency. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Okay, let's see if I can find something dark. Okay. And yes, they did make points this small, even as small as that. All right.